What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back to work on the Ducati 848. Starting off with an oil change. The oil coming out of the engine looks fantastic. It's a little bit dark. We removed the regular filter, and on this 848, there's a filter that actually slips up through the drain plug. This plate that has 4 bolts on it, right above that is this mesh filter that also filters out any debris in the oil. Now, at first, there was a lot of metal debris on the end of this drain plug and in the bottom of this filter. Maybe this filter was never cleaned out before, but there was a lot at the bottom. Everything was very thin metal pieces just like this. Now we are going to insert this mesh back up through the oil pan, pop on our new high flow filter, and put some fresh oil in this 848. All right, oil change is done. We got new oil, a new filter, and we cleaned out that mesh inside the oil pan. I was kind of sketched out with all the little metal shavings in the oil, but I'm glad we got to clean all that out. But now it is time to crank this thing up. And to do that, we need to install the immobilizer ring, and I think it should crank right up. Bolts on right here, and this plugs in along the frame down there. I'm not gonna connect the gas tank just yet because I wanna see this thing spin over, so let's get to it. We just tried to crank the bike. I cycled the key on and off multiple times. The code 19.2 came up once, then it went away after I cycled the key again. As you guys just saw, we attempted to start the bike once again, and as I was pushing this button, the air light came on the screen. Now it has code 19.2 for starter. Did a little bit of reading on Ducati forums, and a lot of people are saying starter, relay, or battery. I mean, this is a brand new battery. I don't know if this relay is good. We did try with the clutch pulled in. The kickstand is up. Let me search up the part number on this relay real quick. So here is the old one, ACM 33201. Here's a new one, ACM 33201. That's why I love keeping wiring harnesses, because I can easily take parts I need off of it. The new one does not have the marker on it, so let's plug it in, see if it cranks. So check this out. This is the solenoid, I believe. Positive on one side, negative on the other. And then the bike sends a signal to this, which transfers power to one side. This is the starter side, and then it fires it right up. And check this out. So I can turn the bike on, and with my power probe, I can put power to the starter manually with this little plus button. Check out, the starter actually works. So the starter is good. You can hear it. So we are getting power to the solenoid, and we don't have any immobilizer codes, so I think it's the solenoid. Let's check if we're getting power to this thing on the connector, which is way back in there. So technically we did accomplish our goal. It does crank over if you put power directly to the starter. And I back probed the pins on this solenoid in here, and both of them are shooting power into this thing. But whenever I activate the start on the handlebar, it does not shoot power from the battery to the other side of the solenoid, shooting it directly to the starter itself. So my guess is we got a bad solenoid because there's power going to it, there's signal power going to the solenoid, but no power is being transferred from the battery to the actual starter. I'm looking up right now that starter solenoid for the Ducati 848, see how much it is. So we just put a solenoid on order. I also talked to Santiago, got his professional opinion. He thinks it's 80% the solenoid starter. Maybe that's an issue the previous owner was having and they just decided to get rid of it. Now, one other thing that's not related, but I wanted to show you guys. Right here is a wafer for like a key lock, and I found this glued to the front rotor when I took it off and initially replaced it a while ago, and I forgot to tell you guys about this. So I'm thinking with this front wafer lock that was on the rotor, I think there was a lock on the rotor, and this is actually a Vandalism bike. Or I mean, Vandalism and theft recovery. Because on eBay, there is an identical set of gas tanks, seat locks, and ignition, just like you guys mentioned. And how you can literally buy these exact keys and ignition set for like 30 bucks on eBay. So maybe someone stole it, got some keys and ignition, but couldn't get it started. But anyway, that's just a hypothetical guess. Let's start putting the bike back together while we wait for that solenoid. So we installed the air intake tubes. Now I did read some forums on how the air filter system on the 848s is terrible and AirPods are a better solution, but I'll let that be the next owner's decision. I'm not trying to throw too much money at this thing, and we also removed the rear pegs, which I'll be shipping out to Santiago. It's the least I can do for him, and he doesn't have any. Anyway, let's make this tank look brand new. This is a stupid way to do this. So guys, the tank is all clean, ready to be sprayed in. The stuff I'm using inside this canister right here is called wax and grease remover. It removes any wax or grease on the tank, making sure that paint lays down perfectly and adheres to the surface. We removed the gas cap, which I think is just a $30 one from eBay. We also put this on just to make sure no dust was going in the gas, but got all dirty, so I took it off. Just put some paper in there. Now we gotta go grab my paint. Keeping with the color scheme, we're gonna go with this semi-gloss. Rocking the respirator as well. Now I'm sure you guys are wondering why I'm just rattle canning this tank. Well, the main issue is time. I simply don't have enough time to drop it off at a place, have them paint it, and then pick it up in a few days when these videos are 3 to 4 days. And the base color is still on the tank, so really I'm just adding a bunch of touch-up. I've never had an issue with paint chipping off or peeling super easy whenever I do this, so as long as you prep it well, spray stuff will lay down and stick perfectly. So with that being said, let's spray this tank in. So we successfully painted that tank. It's a little bit glossy because it's still a little bit wet. It's gonna need a few days to dry out in the sun. So I just need to make sure I don't touch it, make any fingerprints on it. We also threw together the headlights because as you guys saw, we put blue bulbs in for the headlights. I saw a post of a fellow 848 Evo owner who had blue bulbs in and it looked fantastic, so we had to throw some in ours. I guess I could have gone blue bulbs here too. I guess that would have looked better. But anyway, as I said before, the tank is a little bit glossy and we did clean up everything in the rear, along with all the chain wax marks on the bottom of the exhaust. Night and day difference down here. This super clean stuff works miracles, and I'm doing a super clean giveaway for you guys. So all you gotta do is, if you drop a comment, Just write super clean 848 in the comments along with your comment, and you'll be entered to win some of this aerosol can spray from Super Clean and another bottle. Super Clean wanted to give you guys some free products, so in the next video, a winner will be announced and you guys will get sent some directly from Super Clean. Question for you 848 owners, is this for the ambient air temp sensor? Because I do not know what this plugs into and there's nothing else on the bike for it to plug into. Here we've got the turn signals, and the only other plug up front is this right here, which has no home. Now another question for you guys, I am getting a CAN bus error code on the dash now. Let me show you. CAN 38.0. I can't find this code under Ducati forums, and I believe this is for the CAN bus. We were first getting an immobilizer code, then we got a starter code, and now we're getting a CAN bus code, so I'm at a loss. Unfortunately, the solenoid did not show up today, so we can't try and see if that's the issue, but hopefully in the next one, we'll be able to swap this out, see if it fires right up. We are also gonna ship these out to Santiago tomorrow. I mean, it's the least we can do. This bike really doesn't have much left other than getting it started. I think we're just about ready for some fairings. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.